approval of the minutes as listed.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Chair.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Jonathan Delon. Jonathan, okay, we'll hold that.
De Leon,
DeLeon.
or De Leon, either way.
He didn't answer to either of them, so.
No.
Michelle Alexander. Come on, front. Oh. Okay, you're gonna be taking over Barnex?
Yes,
Have you worked there before or anything?
I've been there 11 years.
You've been working there 11 years? So you're familiar with all the rules and regulations and everything you have to do?
Yes.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Hunt.
Yeah, and Michelle, sometimes our record is unclear. You know the answer. You have 2 OWIs in your history, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, not 3, it's 2, correct?
Correct.
Oh, yeah, all right. Yeah, and they're old. 18 years ago was the last one. So that's one thing that we're concerned about as a committee. When you have an OWI, at least on 2 occasions in the past, you made some poor choices and you're gonna have to make decisions, well, you know already from your experience as a bartender. But as a licensed bartender, you have to make decisions for your customers to cut them off even. And yeah, given that these, yeah, again, the last one being 18 years ago, that's a long time ago.
Anything?
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel.
I'm going to give you the speech, Michelle. So it's been Barnex for a long time,
Yes.
and I don't think we've ever had them in for anything. Does anybody recall? At least not since I've been on the committee. We expect you as the operator there to set the tone for what your employees do, and we want, don't serve people that are intoxicated. It's against the law. When there's a problem, call the police. When even you think you need to call the police, call the police. We have trained professionals that will be there quickly to help you solve the problem, if it's a fight or a disturbance or whatever. And you're familiar with all the rules. You can only buy from licensed wholesalers, you know that. And licensed bartender on the premises all the time. And anybody working has to be either licensed or working under the direction of a licensed bartender. You can't be in the basement sweeping up or something like that, you know that. And closing time is not a suggestion, it's 2 or 2:30, depending on the day of the week, all that stuff, so. I'm gonna move approval,
Second,
Is that subject to necessary
subject
quorum?
to,
my second is 2.
Okay. Is there any further discussion here? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Goes to council tonight, well, this is the 1920, so it doesn't take effect until July 1st anyway, so.
So is that when you're taking over, July 1?
Okay,
Well,
thank you
good
very
luck.
much.
Good luck.
Daniel Prindeville? Come on. Okay. Bartender license, this is a new one. Did you know where you're going to work?
Yeah, I started at Shamrocks. Lincoln. Beloit, actually.
Okay, it was written here, it says on the sheet here, about any offenses that you had, and you put down none. And obviously we go back and we had a couple on, of course, it's dismissed, they're all dismissed.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, right, as we look at that, these were dismissed. I don't see an issue.
What does not reported mean?
Not reported, dismissed, I don't know, yeah, it's obviously reported.
Yeah,
Not
For
reported,
first possession
dismissed.
might be not reported.
okay.
Oh, they're 2 separate charges, the first one is not reported, the second one is dismissed.
Okay.
I just repeated what Kale told me. That's, I don't want to show that I knew that.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Now, you've been bartending before, or?
Yeah, I
You know all the
bartended.
rules?
Yeah, I bartended downtown for 2 years. So I'm just getting back started out here. So,
Yeah, well, you know, if the police come, cooperate with them, if there's any problems at all, call the police,
absolutely.
okay? Any further discussion?
And Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel?
you don't have the license till you, did you get a temporary or?
Yeah, I got the I took
Okay,
the
okay.
probationary.
And the only reason you were called in is because you have a couple drug offenses that were dismissed, and so that's, I mean, if there would have been a conviction there, we would have had a long conversation about this, but that's why we called you.
Oh,
So,
okay.
All good.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was gonna come up, but thanks for let me know for future. I can at least disclose that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
All right, thank you.
Martha Gabrielle,
Solus Via Senor.
that close?
Yes.
We were both, team up.
Oh, I took the easy one. Okay, this is bartender license also. I still can't get used to these names. And where are you gonna be working?
Sagitario is on 84th Street in front of State Fair.
Okay. And you have been bartending there?
Yes.
Yeah, one of the reasons why you brought in, once again, you know, we do a police report and get all the
Right.
the things on this, and, one of the problems I have with this is operating while suspended. You have a lot of them for a lot of years, including this
Yeah.
year. You know, which means that you don't really, you got a license, driver's license with rules and regulations, and you obviously don't care. So it kinda bothers us that we're giving you a license with rules and regulations.
Right.
And we gotta assume that you're not gonna care about that either.
No, I do. I quit driving because I just couldn't afford the pay any of the tickets, and I wasn't working. So
And it's currently suspended?
yes,
How did you get here tonight?
my daughter drive for me.
We have cameras. Is that what the cameras are going to reflect?
Camera in the parking lot?
In the parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not really, but I mean,
Not
she
really?
did not know where it was, the place.
Okay.
So you drove here today? Is that what
Well,
you're saying
just-
now?
Yeah, but just to the parking lot to get in. I'll be here because she don't know where to go. But I'm not driving. Honestly, I don't drive.
But you drove here.
Yeah, I guess if you guys wanna say that, yeah.
Yeah.
Motion to deny.
I second that.
Okay,
That's fine.
based on,
Based on not obeying the law and following the law. And that's something that we require of all of our bartenders, to obey the law, not to choose which laws to obey and which laws to not obey.
okay, is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Alderman,
just a quick comment that you can still work in a bar, you can still do that sort of thing, you would just need to be under the supervision of another bartender. Okay?
That's fine.
Thanks for coming clean with us on that.
any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried, sorry. Is that Weinler Singh? Mr. Singh? Is this the second time?
I thought this is the second time as well, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
Ann
for an
knows,
event?
right.
No,
It's
He was
sent
over here-
certified mail.
he was here with us. I mean, when
meetings
Gary
ago.
Barzak was here
Barnett was
speaking,
talking for him.
right, and now we call him in twice.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'm not sure where we go from here, but I do have some, I'd like to have him here because I have some questions on his floor plan and the way it's laid out. I mean, if you look at it, for liquor, sale
Well-
and storage, it's basically the entire convenience store is listed as being for liquor sales.
All right.
So I don't
Okay.
wanna
I will hold,
approve him without him here.
yeah, well, normally after two, we turn it down, but I will hold it, I will talk to Alderman Barzak on it, see if he's got any insight, 'cause
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Okay, let's move to Benjamin Bishop.
Picture.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, this is for application for license at TV.
Oh, this guy. Right, where's that coming from? So I was wondering if you could tell me.
Renewal. One second.
Are you the owner?
This, okay, do we bring him in front of us every year?
No, he's got a recent marijuana conviction, is what it looks like.
Where do you see that, Marty? I thought I'd seen it somewhere too,
The
but I can't
report
see it
page,
here.
it says
Yeah, it's
possession of THC in
Handwritten on the
Waukesha.
front page.
Yeah,
Oh, that's-
conviction.
I saw it when I was reading it, and I can't find it. There it is.
May 7th, 2018.
Okay.
Are you selling marijuana out of the store?
No, that actually was for although it was charged as marijuana, it was CBD.
Okay. And I should say, I was kind of joking when I said, are you selling marijuana out of the
Well,
store?
no, I
I didn't
understand.
really think you were
I
selling
understand,
marijuana. out of the store.
just personally, for clarification, I mean, I've
Yeah.
47 years old, I've never been charged with an offense before, and unfortunately, that's what it got charged as, and, it's kind of disappointing to me, because I try to lead a clean life, so.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel.
was this personal use, the CBD, or you setting up I mean, you're not a retailer somewhere. I see CBD sold everywhere now.
It's sold
apparently.
everywhere now, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I'm just wondering, I guess I've not been following this, if I was possessing CBD right now, not that I am, would I be charged with possession of THC? Has there been change in law in the last year?
Not the
It's a
THC
different,
part, yeah.
it's a different ingredient.
Well, then why was, and it says convicted,
Well, that
possession of
was-
THC.
Yeah, well, that was the way they decided they wouldn't, this goes back to 2015. Since 2015, I believe there's been some clarifications in how they handle those sorts of cases, and, it's what the city.
So
of
our notes
Waukesha
say
did.
Waukesha, was it
Correct.
city or county?
City.
It just seems weird to me then, I guess.
It's pretty weird, because, like you said, it is everywhere.
And it was not distribution, it was only for your own personal aches and pains or whatever.
It was at our location in Waukesha.
Oh, was at your location in Waukesha? So you have a store in Waukesha, same
Correct.
business, similar business? But it wasn't for sale there?
Excuse me?
It wasn't for sale?
Yes,
in
it
your-
was for sale there.
Oh, it was
Oh.
for sale in your store in Waukesha?
Yeah.
And do you sell it in your store in Waukesha now?
No, not at this point.
Well, I see it at like
I know.
Family Video and
I agree. But
I just seem, I mean, I'm not doubting you, it just seems,
it is weird. I can't even explain.
were you just too early? Is that what
I
it
was
was?
too early, correct.
And just to clarify, you're selling CBD oil, or just CBD currently?
Correct.
Okay. Of
In-
course, not marijuana, not
Not
with
marijuana,
THC.
Yeah,
no,
no.
no, no.
In
There's no-
Waukesha, are you?
There's no psychoactive ingredients in anything we sell, just like where you see at CVS.
Yeah,
other
so
locations.
Family Video sells it.
Exactly,
Are you selling it at your store in West Allis?
we are.
I'm gonna ask the assistant city attorney, that's not, I'm sorry, not the assistant, the city attorney. That's not something we'd charge anybody with, is it? Is it, Ken?
We haven't thus far. It has to still, whatever the ingredient is, has to register at least some bit of THC.
Okay,
THC, the actual Delta 9 THC active ingredient.
the good stuff.
The stuff that impacts you as a
Yeah,
hallucinogenic.
yeah.
It has to be below 0.03 federal limit, correct?
So that, well, from a federal side, but the state could still ban it from the 0.0 side.
Correct.
So this was charged as a state law, so whatever the federal law is wouldn't matter. The major issue though is that it looks like this was filed 2018. I have to look back and see when the state essentially created the law that allowed CBD oil
The
sale.
initial case was in, I believe, September of 2015. Since then, the Attorney General has come out and clarified some of the issues with that.
Did they charge it 3 years later?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna move approval,
Second.
just to keep this going along, Ken.
Okay. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, then we have the police reports. Let's see, Robert Anderson, Sallywood. Come up here.
And the excuse me, Chair.
Bartender.
Bartender was also asked to appear.
Is Frank? Yeah, come. Okay, is he on? Oh, he's on my note here. He's on here too, yeah, okay. Well, obviously, we told you about coming in with these compliance checks, and you're one of 3 people that failed them. I'm sorry, one of 4 out of 10. You know, why did you serve the person? All right. Why didn't you get card?
You know, honestly, I don't have much of an excuse other than it was really busy at the moment, and I was just trying to serve everyone at the time. You know, it's something that I try to keep pride in and on IDing people all the time. So I think it was just a one-time thing, really.
Well, obviously, you should card everybody. You know, if there's any question whatsoever, I would card. And obviously, we're gonna be coming in again, you know, what time, it's in compliance checks. And what is your policy as far as when a bartender does that?
Well, normally it'd be firing, but Frank has been there since day one, and I just know Frank better than that. I take some fault, not that I should, but I take a little fault because the night that happened, it was a very busy night, and one of our security men that stands at the door wasn't there. I should have went back. I should have helped out. I mean, I can see something. I could have pictured something like that happening in the case that the security guard wasn't there, especially considering how busy it was. But on the contrary, normally when we are that busy, even if there's always 2 bartenders, on this day he didn't have another bartender. He didn't have, which is not an excuse still. But so I just tried to give him some leniency on that, and I tried to explain to, and I was happy that it actually happened to an undercover and not actually giving alcohol to a minor. So that would have been much worse in my eyes. And so now I have the opportunity to explain the seriousness to all my other employees and also implement other rules, such as not only do you ID the person for drinks, but also for cups as well, in case they're giving it back to someone else to pour a pitcher, et cetera. So there's been some policies that have been changed, and I've really went over it pretty seriously with everyone there.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything?
Move to place on file.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Wouldn't carry. Keep an eye out.
Thank you, and I apologize.
Melissa Shrewby? Doghouse?
I'm the bartender.
Pardon me?
I'm the bartender.
You're the bartender, but she's not here.
Nope.
Come up front. You're Amanda,
Yep,
and you're the one that served the person.
yep.
How much was the ticket?
$187.
And Mr. Chair, it also says no license for the server.
I do have a license. I've had it since the beginning, since I worked there. I also have 3 licenses
You
in the
didn't-
state of Wisconsin.
You didn't, did they ask for your license, you didn't have it on you, or?
They never asked me for anything.
Oh.
They just walked out of the bar.
Okay.
I wasn't there the day that they came into the bar either.
When they serve, I mean, when you serve the person, they don't immediately
Yeah.
tell you.
The next day they came and I was not at work at the time. All I got was the ticket in the
You
mail.
got a ticket, but our notes show no license. I guess I don't,
I can go get it out of my truck,
Maybe it's for the server or maybe for the bar.
cause I hold 3 bartending licenses.
well, other cities don't matter. You have a West Dallas license.
Yes, I do.
It's current.
Yes.
And you know why Melissa isn't here?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
our records show that her license was applied for on March 19th. And this incident happened on April 17th.
So at least she had applied.
So I'm not showing that it was actually issued.
I have the actual license on me.
Can you get it
Okay.
for her?
I can run out to the car.
You want to, we'll have her bring it later.
Yeah, What do you want her to show the clerk later
Yeah,
on or
yeah,
Okay.
just,
Yeah.
we're
I have
gonna,
no problem doing
we're
that.
gonna, you heard the importance of serving
Yes,
minors, you
I
understand that?
understand. I've been doing it for 6 years. This is my first offense from it. I understand. It's a serious matter. I wasn't paying attention to it. I thought they looked old enough, but
Yeah,
some
I-
people look old enough,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, you always gotta check. Now, does anybody wanna hold this until, and have Melissa come in, or
I don't think, oh,
I think we should
Bar-
have
do
bartender,
you want a bar?
or the, sorry,
The owner?
bartender's here making it.
Okay.
Was this a single item? I mean, we're gonna,
It was 2 undercover cops. 1 beer was served, 1 had of water.
yeah, I don't feel the need to hold it
No,
for the
no.
owner to come in, Mr. Chair.
no, I don't think so either. I mean, this, if this becomes a habit there,
Okay, follow me.
I don't think that's quite fair to the others who,
oh,
probably
yeah, I
showed
guess
up
you're
today.
right, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we call it, I mean,
Bring her in.
I don't think you have to come back, but, I think we just hold this
The
and
fact that she
call,
didn't
just,
show up.
just call, Melissa. Okay.
You want her to show up, don't you? I can tell. I have to be
Okay.
here.
Okay,
Okay, so we're gonna hold this?
They
We're
even
gonna
told
hold
me,
this.
because they told me that they got the letter, and they're like, hey, you know you have to show up to this meeting, right?
She got the letter too.
Yeah, correct. It was on my letter saying that she got a letter as
Okay.
well.
But if you could grab your license and show the clerk.
Yes,
we-
sure can.
Yeah.
Thank you.
thanks. Hugo?
Hugo Juarez?
Hugo?
No, we
I didn't see him here, that's unusual.
Well, there's only one male in the room and
have 2 women.
Okay, so,
These are Hugo.
okay, then, Monique and Sally. While you've been sitting here and you're listening, you know, now how long you had that open?
How long?
I've been open since October,
Yeah, okay, so it hasn't even been a year yet.
right.
And it's funny that if you look at the people that got caught, all of them haven't been that long. I think just one of them had, because Sollywood's only been there, what, a year? A little over a
Yeah.
year.
But Binary is new operators there, and they carded the person, they carded the people.
The doghouse here. The doghouse is relatively new
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
We've had her in before and something, so. But, once again, I don't know what happened, you know, but you have to card people. What's your policy on this?
It is card everybody, but.
I've
simple
had my
error.
license over 20-some years and I've never done this before, and they, or the gentleman totally looked old enough, but it happened, and I know it shouldn't have.
probably because of that.
And so,
Oh, no. That's
Well,
that's
I
right.
don't think, you know, you have to be careful, cause they're gonna
Yeah,
be coming
right.
back again,
Right.
and, you get caught again, well,
So is there a way to get this in the system that this is
Right.
actually?
Cal,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
is, for not the bar, for the bartender, I meant,
Who's getting the
Saying this
ticket these
earlier.
days?
no,
Is that the question?
I'm asking questions. Is that the,
I wanna know.
is that enough to take away a license?
By state law, you need 2 offenses in a 12-month period.
2 offenses, okay. So I,
That's okay.
To take away the license from the server or or the establishment?
Both. So if you're gonna revoke a license, it needs to be 2 instances within a 12-month period.
even if it's 2 different servers at one bar?
So, depends what you're doing. So the licensee is vicariously liable for the action of the server. So the licensee, even if the licensee is not present on the premises when it happens, can be cited for it, and can be charged with it and convicted. If the licensee is convicted twice in a 12-month period, then that would make them eligible for suspension or revocation, depending on what the council is doing. So, in this case, it looks like it was the one. Have there been other incidents like this in the last 12 months so
No,
far?
no, they just started in October. so.
Then, yeah, another one would have to occur before any suspension would be possible for that violation.
Okay, you had a question?
Who's getting the ticket nowadays? Both of them or one of them?
I was told by the officer that my bartender would get it,
Mm-hmm.
and she hasn't received it, but then to find out the girl ahead of us received it. So, not
Yeah.
sure.
The police department could issue to both. I'm not sure what their current policy is on who they cite.
I just recall in the past that somebody from the Tavern League had reached out to me and was querying me about well, that's, you're punishing two people for one crime, and the ticket should go to one or the other, but not both, and there was some sort of state ruling on that. And it was implied to me that we were out of compliance on that, by sometimes writing two tickets.
My experience is that most cities issue tickets to both,
Oh, okay.
and that the state law is two separate laws. One says no person may serve under each person. Other law, separate law, says no licensee may serve an underage person. So there'd be no point for that second law. There'd be no point for the second law if it was intended to only apply to the person who physically passed the
Right,
cross.
Okay. Okay, do I have a motion to place in file?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Chair,
Give it, Alderman May.
so your warning would be between now and April of next year, make sure this doesn't happen again.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Between now and forever, make sure.
Yeah.
this doesn't
Yeah,
happen
between now and
again.
forever,
That doesn't
just
mean like
definitely.
Right.
April 29th, no, yeah.
I think, yeah, oh, sorry, go ahead, finish.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you know, a good policy in general is just card everyone at all times.
Right.
When you know the person, it's just a habit.
It's like pick and say, they card,
Right.
even card Marty. So, okay, anything
I
further?
don't think Marty found that funny.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Thank you. Have a good night.
All these people didn't come in. We were calling up,
Are they coming at the next recess?
I don't know.
They were supposed to appear at this meeting, if you wanna hold on to them and see if they show up at recess, maybe.
If they show up recess, we can still take them, can we, or
It's on the council.
they're on this agenda?
It looks like it's on the council
Right.
agenda as well.
Yes.
So
Okay.
yes.
Because maybe they misunderstood, and we have that. Okay, we'll just carry them over until next time, so.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
All right.